Okay, this is a call to order. The regular meeting of the Governing Board of Education is called to order by myself, Dr. Joseph Komorowski, at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, June 9, 2026 at the District Office Conference Center. I think we have a comment on the approval of the agenda.
Christine Massa.
Well, that was fast. Just wanted to say, before you get into the approval of the agenda, which I know you usually approve the agenda for both closed and open right now, that there is a glaring omission on the open agenda, the action item, the information items that Dr. Komorowski, you promised in the last meeting and motioned and had approval that would be brought to the open session agenda for dress code and the social media athletics policy. You said that those speakers would be given, I'll wait till you're done yawning, thank you. You said that those speakers would be given the opportunity to speak. If you intend to, as Dr. Anderson said, push that off to the public, general public comment session, if there were people who were going to speak on both 7 and 8, would you give them, are you paying attention? Thank you. Would you give them 3 minutes on each of those topics in general public comments? What if they also had a general public comment? I'll wait. Thank you. What if they also had a general public comment? Will you give them 9 minutes to speak? How are you planning to handle that? I think that when you guys discuss the approval of the agenda, you need to discuss the omissions that you promised would be on this agenda, as well as how you're going to treat their comments. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any changes to the agenda?
Dr. Komorowski,
Mr. Arce?
I'd actually like to ask the board for a few changes.
Okay.
The first is there is an agenda item in action, and that's agenda item number 25. That's an approval for a job description, dual language immersion teacher. Unfortunately, there was an error that was made in uploading the job description that we agreed with TVA on this particular matter. We'd still like to fly the position pending board approval of the job description, specifically because we have agreement with TVA on this particular job description. But the job description that's uploaded at this time to the board agenda does not have the revisions that were done to this. So I'd like to pull the item and bring it back on the 23rd.
Okay. Any other?
I have one more, Dr. Komorowski. In consent, I'd like to pull item number 2, the warrant list.
That'd be 4.
I'm sorry,
number 2 in the warrant list? Oh.
Item 4,
Okay.
which is the warrant list, specifically, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the actual page number.
And also, Lene, would you mind pulling it up if possible? Yeah, that way we can see.
Dr. Komorowski, this is under page 12 of 18. Item number 2, document B3012058. This is for independent consulting regarding a special project. It's related to database work that's being done by a consultant and a PO amount that's listed there, and I'd like to pull that item from the warrant list at this time.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Arce, can you read off the document B number? I can zone in better.
Yeah, it's item B3012058.
Got it. 90,000, independent contractor, Fingerland. Okay.
Yeah, my recommendation is approval of the warrant list with a strike through of that item at this time.
Okay. Got it.
Thank you, Dr. Komorowski.
You're welcome. Any other changes to the agenda?
I have one. I would like my item for legislative and qualitative immunity added to this agenda because it was based on a collective binding vote at the May 12th meeting, postponed to this meeting, and I do not see it anywhere on the agenda. I appreciate the note that I got from you regarding this, but you are basically saying in your note that this item was withdrawn. That is not correct. The item was postponed, and based on a collective binding vote, this item should be on this agenda, so I'm respectfully asking that it be added right now.
Okay, is there a second? Yeah, and by the way, that was legal, the note that I gave you, so.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Can we add an item to the agenda, or do we need to give the public a certain amount of notice?
We in fact do, but we can take a motion in a second just to be official. Actually,
Okay.
no, it's a point of order. You actually can't add it. Okay, so is there any other changes to the agenda?
Okay, so I just want to say one more thing. I am going to submit for the record a Brown Act violation to Mrs. Velez, or to Dr. Velez. I want this added to the record regarding a demand for cure and correction pursuant to Government Code 54960.
If you're going to read off a whole document.
No, I'm just going to read off what it's regarding.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. Brown Act violation, failure to post properly postponed agenda item at June 9th, 2026, regular board meeting. That's all I have to say on this.
Dr. Komorowski, we
Yeah,
can
but-
cure and correct that right now. I can move to put it on the next agenda, and then it will be corrected.
Well,
But
it's awesome because we have legal right here, so we can get into that later, but yeah.
So I can motion to put it on the next agenda, and then we've corrected it.
You should
for
just
him.
Actually,
look at
I'd
the
like to
cure and
consult
correct.
with our attorney when we go into closed session.
Okay, we'll do that.
That'd be more prudent. Okay, so that's not going to happen, and we have the changes that Mr. Arce had, and I'll just, yeah, we'll take a motion in a second to approve the
I have
agenda.
something to comment on.
Are you going to make a change to the agenda?
Well, I'm going to comment on something that should be on the agenda and is not.
We want to know exactly what you're going to comment on that, because we don't have to, this isn't time to start, chatting about the agenda.
I'm not chatting, I'm playing what you said. I'm not chatting.
All right, so to be clear, dress code item number 7 and item number 8, student digital citizenship, athletic communications, and code of conduct ethics. So here's what we're doing next meeting. We have 5 comments on dress code item 7 that will be prioritized, that those 5 people, we know who you are, you will speak first. And then on the item 8, we have 3 people, we know who you are, you'll speak first. You're prioritized next meeting. So now we...
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Schwartz. That's perfect. I'm glad you actually did that, because what I said was contingent on the autonomy of those 2 board members that are in subcommittee with dress code. And those 2 board members, and so what I said was a formality. Those 2 board members at any time can pull agenda items. And that's exactly what happened. Now, on future agenda items, they can speak to this, whether they're going to re-agendize it. I believe Dr. Anderson's not. I believe Mrs. Wiersma is. They can speak to that then. But my comment was contingent on that. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll take
I
a
don't see
motion in a
that.
second.
So
I'm
I am
sorry.
You're causing disruption to the board, Mr.
submit
Barham.
for the record another Brown Act violation, demand for
Point
cure
of
and
We
order.
can actually
correction
put us into recess if you
pursuant
want
to Government Code
continue to be unprofessional.
54960, Brown Act violations for these items.
You're going
Here
to
you go,
continue to
Dr.
be
Velez.
unprofessional?
Here you go.
Thank you, Emil.
Point of order? Something else about the agenda?
Point of order.
Yes, thank you.
We're trying to approve the agenda, Mr. Schwartz.
I'm trying to.
I'm ready to prove.
Get
Let's
it
go.
ready to approve. However, to promote, I'd just like to quote from Bylaw 9322, to promote a balanced agenda, individual board members may submit up to 2 items for placement on any single regular meeting agenda.
Dr. Anderson, Mrs. Wiersma, would you have liked it if I would have forced your item to be agendized without
That's
your
commentary,
consent?
Doctor.
You are interrupting. Point of order. Now let them speak. Dr. Anderson.
Let me just read this statement that I sent to the public. Because there is currently no proposed policy change being brought forward on either matter, there is nothing specific for the board to discuss and act on at the June meeting. My understanding is that Government Code Section 4954.2 applies to items of business that will be transacted or discussed at a meeting. Since these items are no longer being brought forward for board consideration at this time, they do not appear on the June agenda. To be clear, the board has not taken action on these items outside the meeting. Rather, the proposed items are simply not moving forward at this time, so there is no board action or discussion scheduled.
Thank
May
you,
I
Dr.
reply?
Anderson and Mrs.
May I
Wiersma.
reply?
No, you may not right now. You do not have the
May I
floor.
reply after
You do
Mrs.
not have the
Wiersma?
floor. Mrs. Wiersma, would you like to reply?
I won't be replying, but I do have a request for the agenda.
Okay.
I would like to reply to her.
Mr. Barham, you are literally out of order every 5 seconds.
May I
Let
re-
Mrs.
may I
Wiersma
reply?
speak. No, you may not. Mrs. Wiersma has the floor. Thank you.
I had a constituent request that we move number 18 to the top of action items, so they are able to address that. So that's a question for the board, if we would like to agree to do that. That's on the power lines.
What's number?
Number 18.
I'll second that.
Okay, I will, we can do a motion in a second. I have consensus on it, but if there's, disapproval, we can take a motion in a second on this item specifically.
What
and
is
then
it again?
address
I'm
the
sorry.
two that Mr. Arce.
What about?
It's
Moving
moving the power
18
lines
to
what?
to the
number
top,
1 in
just
the
to the
action
top of
items.
the
Fine.
active agenda. Okay.
Okay.
One other
So,
thing.
yeah.
I had 3 different items on the warrant list I'd like to pull to talk to, but we can do that then. I can pull those
You
numbers
can do that now so that we can give staff adequate time to maybe address. So what items?
Okay, so number 14, number 19, and number 30. I don't see a lot of discussion needed, but I'd like to vote on those separately. And there
Okay.
might be discussion.
All right, so they'll be pulled. So we have 3 things. We
What was
have,
the last one, I'm sorry?
14, 19, 30.
Correct, 14, 19, and 30.
I don't see 30, I see the last one, 27. Is it consent or action?
Consent.
Oh, in consent, thank you.
Consent, yes.
And I have 2 more in consent.
okay. Mr. Barham, what are your 2 in
I
consent?
agree with Mrs. Wiersma, and I would like to add 29 and 33. And now I would like to reply.
Okay, so before you reply, just so that I'm clear, we have items being pulled for consent. We have item 18 on action being pushed to number 1. Then we have the 2 items for Mr. Arce. Do you have another item to add or pull?
No, I want to reply to
Okay,
Dr.
then I'm going to
Anderson.
take a
I
motion.
call the question.
I'm going to take a motion to approve the agenda, and I'll take a second.
I will second.
Do I-
Okay.
So do I get to reply
So we
to
have
Dr. Anderson?
I move to approve the agenda. We had Dr. Anderson second. And now, finally, Mr. Barham, what did you want to speak to?
The only thing that I would like to say is that
Before you read a speech off.
I'm not going to read a speech.
Okay.
It's going to be very quick.
Okay.
Okay. Let me talk. Okay.
I want you to be professional.
I-
We're
you know
literally
what?
spending
You
15
know what?
minutes trying to
I-
approve the agenda.
I have been professional. It's you that don't allow
You're
people to speak.
interrupting.
You don't allow people to speak.
Point of
because
order,
you're
I called the
interrupting.
question because we're just,
You know what?
we need to
So
approve the
here-
agenda and move on.
so-
He's
so-
just arguing.
So here's the.
Let's
here-
just
here's
Okay,
take the
so
vote.
there's a second
You
to
know
call
what?
to question, and let's take a vote on that.
So you're not going to let me speak?
You got
You
20
let
seconds,
her
Mr.
speak?
Barham. You got 20
Okay,
seconds.
the only thing that I'm going to say is these items in question were approved on May the 12th. That is a collective binding vote. By consensus, which is a collective binding vote, you postpone these things. So there's 2 collective binding votes, and the only way that those items can be removed is by a collective binding vote. I respect.
Lene, will you please call roll? We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Thank you.
Wiersma,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes,
Barham,
No.
Schwartz,
No,
Komrosky.
Yes. Motion adopted 3-2. Just approve the agenda. Announcement of closed session items. In accordance with Government Code Section 54957.7, the board will now meet in closed session for consideration of items listed in Section E. But before we do that, do we have any comments in closed session?
Yes, we have one, Lindsay.
We have one. We'll take Lindsay up.
Here. Okay. You're good.
Oh, okay. I'm so frustrated. I feel that you guys just waste people's time. Last meeting, you said that there were 8 speakers that were going to come.
If this is not related to closed session, that's your first warning. It's got to be related to closed session.
All these things that have transpired within the last 10 minutes will probably end up in closed session.
That is not pertinent to closed
I'm
session
talking about
tonight.
closed session.
Tonight.
Tonight.
Be specific. That's your second warning.
Okay.
We've already approved the agenda. We're talking about closed session now. You must be talking about closed session items.
Can you please move that so I can see the closed session items and I will make my comment? So there's many items in our closed session tonight that you all will be discussing. Many things that the public cannot understand and we will never know because it's behind closed doors. That's a lot of items to have in closed session. Who knows why they're there? It's very frustrating that we have to have all these things that take away from our students in TVUSD. There could be money involved. There's employees that are, you guys are going to be speaking about, disciplinary action with students. All of these things affect students, and it's very frustrating as a public citizen when things get changed all the time and then all of a sudden it ends up in closed session. And I just have to say it's very disheartening, it's dishonest, and I'm very frustrated that you take time away from individuals, that we have to rush here at 4 o'clock and you start so quickly that we don't even have the time to have a real conversation about so many other things. And it's like a dictatorship. It's like we're forced, and you're taking away from the public. I bet you, no wonder why there's so many things in closed session. It's really sad, and I would love to actually see no items in closed session. So hopefully you guys can get there, get it together, and give public the time that they deserve to be able to speak to things when people pay money to be here, right? I mean, I have a babysitter. Should I send you the bill when I think things are going to be on the agenda, and now all of a sudden they're just magically disappeared? But I bet you they'll end up in closed session, so you'll all be able to talk about it. So thank you so much, and take care.
Mr. Diedrich, in about a minute, could you let the public know why we have to have items in closed session to conduct business of the Temecula Valley Unified School District and not an open session? Just
Sure,
in brief.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
There's certain elements of business that schools conduct that involves confidentiality, employee issues, student issues, which are also confidential, and litigation. And it looks to me like everything on this topic falls, in your closed session, falls within the legal parameters for closed session items.
Thank you so much. So this is correctly following the law. Okay, so there was an item in closed session number 5, and part of that was missing on the agenda. All of that paperwork is in closed session. We will be addressing that, and that's item number 5. And that's it. We're going into closed.